Every Friday I do something that I call the Friday Beer, where I share the first beer to kickstart the weekend. I do BS video over a Patreon, and one of my patrons, Johansson, a few weeks back shared a special beer. At first glance, thought what a cool can, then I saw the word homebrewing on it. This beer is not only brewed by one of my favorite Swedish breweries, the beer comes from a homebrewer who won a competition and the beer got brewed professionally. And if that's not enough, this beer comes from a Patreon community poll where the patrons decided on the beer style and the ingredients, and then it got brewed professionally. Nice! So today we're answering ourselves, do homebrewers know what they are doing? Spoiler alert. Of course we do. Let's kick it. I'm Dr. Hans, this is Dr. Hans Brewery, my channel about beer and homebrewing. And lurking in the shadows, we have Chewy. Before we dive into these beers, let's run through the story of these beers, as it's actually quite interesting if you are a homebrewer. Both of these beers are connected to a podcast called Hembryggning Halleluja, Homebrewing Halleluja, which is a podcast like beer geeking homebrewing podcast, and they also, like I do, have a strong Patreon community. So the first beer, not the one suggested by one of the Dr. Hans Brew Crew members, Johansson, is the Congregation West Coast Pils. So the Homebrewing Halleluja podcast Patreon community, that was kind of tricky to say, decided on beer style and ingredient. And what I could scout out from my investigations and reading on the can, we have barley malt, the hops used Amarillo, Halleluja, Mittelfru and Simcoe, and of course some sort of lager yeast. If you have the recipe for any of these two beers, please send them over to me. You'll find my contact down in the description, and the editing doctor could put them in the description. Yes, thank you. And also, of course, we'll link to the Homebrewing Halleluja podcast, Dugges Brewery. And while you're down there, please leave a nasty comment and a thumbs up. But maybe not. Don't subscribe. I already ran through the ingredients. Let's pop this one open. West Coast Pilsner. What even is that? Beer in the glass. Are you excited? We have a massive 3-finger head, and you know what they say, everyone loves good head. Please buy the t-shirt. We have a slight haze on this West Coast Pils. It's a thick head to get some sort of aroma out from this beer. But you have that kind of hop fruity thing. Cheers. It is a little bit different. I'm not saying that in a bad way. It's clean fermented like a lager. And we have those German noble hops, the Halleluja Mittelfru, which I actually have a plant of here in my garden. Together with those, with Simcoe and Amarillo, American hops. Definitely works, but to me it's not an IPA. The ABV of this beer is just over 5%, 5.6%. It's a nice beer, but it's more in I would say it would be more like a...
What would you even name that?
More of a pale ale than an IPA, so it's what we call that, hoppy lager, hoppy pills, more than an IPL-ish beer. But yeah, let me know your thoughts about that. Let's jump to the next one. Cheers. The second beer, the Patersbier, has a different story. The podcast Homebrewing Halleluja had a competition. Homebrew beer were sent in, and the winner of that competition was Karl Johansson, who won with his Patersbier. Fun fact about Karl Johansson, he won a gold medal in the biggest Swedish homebrewing competition 2024 with his saison, Rida Ranke, in the French and Belgian beer style section. Gold medal winner. Congratulations. And now he's got his beer brewed professional. This is a Patersbier. Patersbier is a Trappist monk beer. But it's not your double or triple. This is lower in ABV. The monks kept this for themselves. Usually below. I know my English. Usually below 5%. I think this is just over 5.6%. And speaking of Dugges Brewery, if you don't know them, it's a Gothenburg brewery and they are known for their bold hoppy beers, I think. Also have some cool sours. Yeah, link down below. Beer in the glass. Phone is going crazy. And if you haven't figured this one out already, this is a very Swedish. Stop it! And if you haven't figured this one out, this is a very Swedish video. Dugges Brewery, Swedish. The Homebrewing Halleluja podcast, Swedish. And Karl Johansson, the homebrewer who brewed this beer originally, he is also Swedish. And me, myself, and I, and Chewy, still lurking in the shadows. He's very camera shy today. Also from Sweden. Beer in the glass. But yeah, the beer styles are not. This is Belgian. The hops in this one is actually Sass and Rakau hops, which is from, is it New Zealand? Let me know down in the comments. I think so. We have good level of carbonation. I tried to use the proper glass for this. This is a Grimbergen blonde glass. Have a 1.5 finger frothy white head. It's not as dark as you see it as usual. It has this golden color to it. Let's give it a nose. Can't really pick much up this time either. Cheers. Maybe we should do some sort of brew crew beer together. How about that? Big shout out to the brew crew. We'll do a BS video after this one, me and Chewy. This is well carbonated beer. It's a good beer. It's be like a table beer. The thing that these two beers has in common is that they are like little brothers, I think, to the like originals. In this case you will have a double or a triple beer, and this is like lighter than your normal blonde even. And this beer, it says IPL, but I don't think it has that like punch to be that. But just me. Maybe we should core a winner, even though it doesn't make any sense because these are two different beer styles. But whenever I found myself double-fisted, not that way. Whenever I found myself with two beers, it's really hard to not core a winner, and we'll try to do that today. I will say that I think it's really cool by the Dugges Brewery to do these kind of things for us homebrewers. And I can't understand why they haven't contacted me and flown me over to Gothenburg just yet. To the big question, we are asking which beer is Halleluja and which beer is Hell? It's a bit harsh because they are both good beers, but the IPL or the Patersbier. Did I say that the Patersbier means father's beer? It's a really hard one, but there can only be one. And the winner is the Patersbier. I did jump back and forth a little bit because they're both good beers and like kind of equally good. Great like a lawnmower beer, but this is a little bit more interesting. Another homebrewer that got his beer brewed professional is Andre Rachel from Newfoundland, Labrador. Nailed it. Not only once, several times. He sent me a new beer, it's probably on the way, but the first beer he got brewed professional, I already done a video about beer. So you can go watch that one. Otherwise, see you in the next one. Dog Tons out.
That's all, beer bitches!